This is Gadget at thetechstop.net, the place where it's always time to get your geek on. I'm Father Robert Balacer. I'm a Catholic priest in the Society of Jesus. It's a religious order of the Catholic Church. And we're here this week to take a look at a brand new notebook from Gateway that combines price, performance, and portability. It's the Gateway ID49C08u.
The ID49C08u is an update of Gateway's ID series of mid-size notebooks. Measuring 13.5 inches wide, 9.6 inches deep, and less than an inch thick, the notebook weighs in at 4.8 pounds. The ID49C08u is powered by a 2.4 GHz dual-core Intel Core i5 CPU with 3 MB of L3 cache and Intel's Turbo Boost technology, which can increase the clock up to 2.66 GHz for short spurts of performance. The CPU sits on top of an Intel HM55 chipset next to 4 GB of user-replaceable DDR3 1.33 GHz memory in 2 SODIMM slots. All this hardware runs the 64-bit edition of Windows 7 Home Premium. The ID49C08u features an aluminum alloy cover and interior with a matte finish throughout. Those who detest the smudges and fingerprint vulnerability of glossy plastic notebooks will appreciate the smudge resistance of the ID series. And let's face it, the aluminum just makes it look good. Gateway equipped the ID49C08u with a fine-tip keyboard that uses flat keys, wide spacing, rounded edges, and a flush-mounted design that makes the keys appear as if they are suspended. It's a good design that Gateway has used on several of their notebooks to eliminate the fat fingering syndrome. I was able to type at full speed without feeling cramped or constrained. My first impression was that the keyboard flexed far too much, but after a week of testing, I realized that the flex actually makes the keyboard more comfortable to type on in cramped spaces. Gateway has also added 4 dedicated keys to the right of the keyboard, 3 for volume control and 1 that launches your favorite social networking service. We like the feel of the keyboard, and Gateway scored with the addition of quick access buttons for volume, but we were a little puzzled by the decision to stuff the cursor keys into the bottom right corner and relegate page up and page down to function combos. Above the keyboard sits a dedicated programmable launch button and Wi-Fi toggle, as well as touch-sensitive media buttons and the illuminated power button. Running along the middle of the clamshell is a Dolby home theater soundbar that is good enough for personal use, but you're definitely going to want to use the HDMI hookup if you plan on using the notebook for home theater. Below the keyboard is a slightly offset multi-touch illuminated full-click touchpad. This component was a mixed bag for our review team. I personally liked the feel of the touchpad. I found the multi-touch features to be responsive, and I even liked the fact that the touchpad lit up when clicked or gestured. But I didn't like the Mac-inspired need to depress the whole pad to click. On the other hand, another member of the review team loved the Mac click, but was bothered to no end by the light-up feature. On the left side of the notebook, Gateway has included a Gigabit Ethernet port, Kensington lock port, VGA connector, HDMI port, USB port, and headphone and microphone jacks. The right side of the ID houses an additional 3 USB 2.0 ports. Storage on the ID49C08u starts with a 500 GB 5400 RPM hard drive. It's complemented by an 8X dual-layer DVD drive on the right side of the unit and a multi-card reader at the front of the notebook. Network options on the ID49C08u include Gigabit Ethernet and 802.11a, B, G, and N wireless. The screen is a 14-inch widescreen LED backlit ultra-bright LCD with a resolution of 1366 by 768. The images are crisp, bright, and well saturated. The screen is topped with an integrated 1.3 megapixel web camera and stereo microphone. Graphics power is provided by an NVIDIA GeForce GT330M discrete graphics part with Optimus technology and 1 GB of dedicated DDR3 VRAM. This setup is notable because Optimus technology seamlessly and automatically switches between the performance-based NVIDIA 330M graphics chip and the battery-friendly Intel integrated graphics. When you need performance, Optimus technology switches on the 330M, giving you that extra boost for video games or video editing. When you're just web surfing or word processing, Optimus technology turns off the GPU, extending battery life. Combined with the power boost feature of the i5 CPU, the end result is that you get the power of a desktop replacement mixed with the longevity of an ultralight. The performance of the ID49C08u is above average for this class of notebook. In PC Mark Vantage, the ID scored 5952. That's the highest-scoring Gateway laptop on Gadget ever. In 3D Mark Vantage, it scored a respectable 2705, putting it comfortably ahead of most notebooks in this class that use NVIDIA's 310M GPU. As far as we can tell, the one performance hit is the use of a 5400 RPM hard drive instead of a 7200 RPM unit. The ID49C08u has a 6-cell lithium-ion battery that is rated for 4400 mAh. Gateway claims that the battery lasts as long as 6 hours. In our rundown test with everything on and the CPU maxed, we averaged just over 3 hours and 57 minutes of battery time. In power-saving mode, we were able to book 6 hours 52 minutes. Your battery time will be somewhere in between. The Gateway ID49C08u is available now with a 1-year warranty. You can find it for about $850.
For the last year, my notebook of choice has been the Gateway EC1430U, a wonderful little device that we reviewed here on Gadget. It weighs about 3 pounds, gets between 6 to 10 hours of battery life, and yet has enough power to do rudimentary video editing on the go. And yet, even though I like my EC, there have been times that I wish I could trade off some of that portability, some of that battery life for a little more horsepower. That's where the Gateway ID49C08u comes into play. Now, on the con side, the first thing has to be the price point. At $850, it's priced as a mid-range notebook, but it performs like a high-end desktop replacement. Also, there's the styling. I like the fact that Gateway has used this matte finish and this aluminum cover because it means it's not going to be a fingerprint magnet, unlike those glossy plastic notebooks that are so popular on the market today. Also, there's the fact that it's quiet. In fact, right now it is maxed out, the CPU and the GPU, by this little benchmark here, and you might just be able to hear the fan. It's definitely not loud enough to blot out the quiet parts of that movie that you're watching on your odd day off. Finally, and most importantly, power. Power to spare, power to go, power that turns on only when you need it. With the Optimus technology, with the Power Boost technology, it means that it will perform like an ultralight in terms of saving your battery when you want to save your battery, and yet a program like Adobe Premiere Pro CS5 can use the extra CPU power, can use that GPU to give you real-time AVCHD high-definition video rendering on the go. And to someone like me, that's important. On the con side, I'd have to say it starts with the average battery life. And that's not to say average as in disappointing, it's just average as in not surprising. Between 4 to 7 hours, and you're going to find that your battery life probably goes towards the lower end of that spectrum. Also, Gateway didn't include a Bluetooth module, which we really didn't understand since that's standard on most notebooks today. And finally, and for me most importantly, it's the trackpad. I like the placement, I like the keyboard, I like the wrist rest. I even like the fact that it does light up when you get down into the control function area. I do not like the fact that you have to press this thing, the whole trackpad a la the Mac. Now, some people may like that, and that might be a selling point, but again, try before you buy. All in all, the ID49C08u is a fantastic computer for you to consider. It's a desktop replacement, it's an ultralight, and it's a well-priced notebook. You can check it out by going to the Gateway website at www.gateway.com, or you can find out how we've been using these notebooks by going to www.thetechstop.net. Well, I'm Father Robert, and remember, there's no Uber Geek without you.